Every time you forgive someone else, you're actually forgiving yourself. And when you refuse to forgive them, you're the one who stays trapped. Think about the last time someone wronged you, really wronged you. Not a minor inconvenience, but something that made your chest tight and your jaw clench. Maybe it was your partner dismissing your feelings. Maybe it was a friend who betrayed your trust, or that colleague who took credit for your work. Right now, as you remember it, notice what happens in your body. The tension creeping back into your shoulders. The way your breathing gets shallow. That familiar burn of indignation rising up. Even though this happened days, weeks, maybe months ago. We tell ourselves we're holding on to the anger because we're right. Because letting it go would mean they got away with it. Because our outrage is somehow protecting us from being hurt again. But here's what we don't see in that moment of righteous fury. We're not punishing them. They're probably going about their day, completely unaware that we're sitting here, heart racing, replaying the scene for the 100th time. We're the ones carrying the weight. We're the ones whose day gets hijacked every time the memory surfaces. Think of holding a grudge like gripping a hot coal. You picked it up to throw at someone else, but you're the one whose hand is burning. Every moment you hold on to it, thinking you're punishing him, you're actually the one in pain. The coal only cools when you finally let it go. Sarah's been replaying the same argument with her manager for 3 days. Every time she thinks about how he dismissed her idea in the meeting, her jaw clenches and her chest tightens. She's convinced that staying angry proves she was right, that her outrage honors her worth. Monday night, she vents to her partner over dinner. Tuesday, she texts her best friend a play-by-play during lunch. By Wednesday, she's exhausted, not from work, but from carrying the weight of her own story about what happened. Here's what Sarah doesn't realize: her manager has already moved on. He's focused on next quarter's projections, completely unaware that Sarah is still in that conference room, fighting a battle that ended 3 days ago. Every time she rehearses her comeback, the perfect response she wishes she'd given, she's not changing what happened. She's just burning her hand on the same hot coal, over and over again. The fascinating part is that Sarah knows this intellectually. If you asked her whether holding on to anger helps, she'd say no. She's read the articles about forgiveness. She understands the concept, but understanding and doing are different things, especially when the burn feels so justified. We become addicted to our stories of being wronged. There's something strangely satisfying about being the victim, about having evidence that the world is unfair, that people can't be trusted, that we need to stay guarded. But notice what happens when you tell your grievance story for the 10th time. The facts stay the same, but something shifts. The story gets sharper, more dramatic. Details that support your position get emphasized. Their motivations become clearer, more malicious. You become more innocent, more purely wronged. This isn't lying. It's what the mind does when it's defending a position. It builds a case. It gathers evidence. It prepares for a trial that will never happen. Meanwhile, life is happening around you. Your kid is asking for help with homework while you're mentally prosecuting your case. Your partner is trying to connect while you're lost in an argument from last week. The sunset is beautiful outside your window, but you can't see it through the smoke of your burning coal. Sarah realizes this on Thursday morning. She's in the shower, rehearsing yet another confrontation with her manager, when she suddenly hears herself. Really hears herself. The water is warm. The morning is quiet. And she's standing there, alone, arguing with no one. The moment you stop defending your story about how someone wronged you, you free both of you from the same mental prison you've been sharing. This isn't about deciding they were right. It's not about excusing harmful behavior or pretending nothing happened. It's about recognizing that your anger isn't a weapon pointed at him. It's a weight you're carrying. Sarah takes a breath in that shower. For the first time in 4 days, she lets the story go. Not forever. It will probably come back. But for this moment, she stops feeding it. She stops adding fuel to the fire. And something remarkable happens. Without the constant rehearsal, without the mental energy spent on prosecution, she has space. Space to notice that she's actually okay. That her worth isn't determined by one dismissed idea in one meeting. That her manager's opinion, while frustrating, doesn't define her value. The coal begins to cool. She might need to have a professional conversation with her manager. She might need to advocate for herself more clearly. But now she can do it from a place of clarity, not from the fog of resentment. Here's the part that surprises people. When you drop your coal, something shifts in the other person too. Not always immediately. Not always visibly. But on some level, they feel the release. Think about someone in your life who's holding a grudge against you. You can feel it, can't you? Even if they're polite, even if they say nothing, you sense the wall between you. Their unspoken anger affects how you act around them, how comfortable you feel, how open you can be. Now imagine that wall suddenly vanishing. The grudge evaporates. Even if they never tell you directly, you'd feel the shift. The air would be clearer. The connection would be possible again. This is what happens when we truly forgive. We don't just free ourselves. We free the other person from the role we've cast them in. The villain in our story gets to be human again. The monster becomes someone who made a mistake. The enemy becomes someone who was probably doing their best with the understanding they had. Sarah's manager notices the shift the following Monday. He doesn't know why, but Sarah seems different in their morning check-in. More present. More engaged. He finds himself actually listening to her new proposal, considering it fully for the first time. This kind of forgiveness isn't a one-time decision. It's a practice. The story will come back. Our minds love their familiar grievances. But each time it does, we have a choice. Pick up the hot coal again, or let it lie. Start small. Notice the minor grudges first. The driver who cut you off, the barista who was rude, the friend who cancelled plans. These smaller coals are easier to drop. They haven't been burning as long. The story isn't as entrenched. Watch what happens when you refuse to pick them up. When someone's rudeness doesn't ruin your morning. When a disappointment doesn't spiral into a narrative about how people always let you down. When you can see someone's mistake without making it mean something about your worth. The practice builds. What starts with small annoyances gradually extends to deeper wounds. Not because you're trying to be saintly, but because you've discovered something practical. Carrying hot coals hurts. Dropping them feels better. It's that simple. And in that simplicity lies freedom. Freedom from the exhausting work of maintaining your grievances. Freedom from the prison of your own righteousness. Freedom to engage with life as it's actually happening, not as your anger insists it should be. Your hand heals. Your heart opens. And the person you've been trying to punish, they were free all along. The only prisoner was you. And the door was never locked. You were just too busy gripping the bars to notice you could let go. Before we move into the meditation, if this is helping you, you're welcome to like the video and subscribe. It's a simple way to keep practicing together. Let your body find a comfortable position. There's no perfect way to sit or lie down. Just let yourself settle. Take a breath. Not a special breath, just notice the one that's already happening. Somewhere in your body, there might be tension. Maybe in your shoulders, maybe in your jaw. Maybe somewhere unexpected. Just notice it. You don't need to fix it. If a grudge comes to mind right now, someone who wronged you, someone you haven't forgiven, let it be here. Don't push it away. Don't feed it either. Just notice it like you noticed your breath. Feel the weight of carrying this story. Not to judge yourself for carrying it, but just to know how it feels. The tension it creates. The space it takes up. Now imagine, just imagine, setting it down. Like putting down a heavy bag after a long journey. You don't have to forgive anyone. You don't have to decide they were right. Just feel what it might be like to stop carrying this weight. Notice your breath again. It might be a little easier now, or it might not. Both are okay. Your hands, notice them. Are they clenched or open? Whatever they're doing, let them soften a little, like you're letting go of something you didn't realize you were holding. The coal cools when we stop gripping it. Not all at once, not forever. But in this moment, you can let your hand rest. Breathe here for a moment. In this space where you don't have to defend anything, where you don't have to be right, where you can just be. When you're ready, no rush, let your awareness expand again. The sounds around you, the feeling of support beneath you, the day waiting for you, with all its possibilities. You can pick up your stories again if you need to. They'll be there. But maybe, just maybe, some of them can stay where you set them down. Take one more breath. This one is yours. Thank you for being here and practicing together. If you'd like, you can find a free digital ACIM resource in the description. And if you want to mark the moment, a simple comment such as, "I am grateful," is welcome. Thank you for being here. For having the courage to look at these patterns we all carry. The coal in your hand, you can set it down anytime you're ready. There's no rush. Be gentle with yourself as you practice. Until next time, take care.